the Hershey and Keegs Show.
Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
Oh, well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Do you guys know what that means?
What does it mean, Michael?
That means it's the Hershey and the Keegs Show.
Let's do it.
That's what we do these nights of the week at this time of the week.
Tuesdays, usually.
Welcome, everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you for listening, and I am Mike Keegan, Mark Hirschman, Tony Walker. We have a special guest in the studio who we'll introduce shortly. You have anything to say, Mark?
I do have something to say. We're super stoked. We have Rosie Fiumara in the studio tonight. First time on our show. She's been on Tony's show, Knock 'em Dead, but basically this is the first time that she's going to have listeners, so that's a big thing. That's not funny, Tony. That's not nice. We don't need to play like that. Before we get into the poking fun and the making fun of people, we're going to do our first set of Hershey and Keegs Show sponsors. Hershey and the Keegs Show is proudly sponsored by Sophia Jewelry at 135 Gardeners Avenue, right here in Levittown. Specializing in diamonds and vintage jewelry, go see Omid for all of your buying and selling of jewelry and mention Hershey and the Keegs for a free appraisal. Then, of course, we have our fine friends at Sip and Serve Waitress and Bartending Service. Elevate your next party with the Sip and Serve Squad. Their awesome bar and waitstaff will ensure your event will be unforgettable. Book now and let them handle the details while you enjoy the celebration. Call my friend Jen at 516-528-6783. And of course, we have New View Construction. Established in 2007, they are the people to call for the finest craftsmanship and all of your general contracting needs. Call 516-924-5627 and do it with confidence. And then last but not least, for our first round of sponsors, we have American Restoration Solutions. When disaster strikes, they'll guide you to recovery. Call 516-662-9377 and ask for Senior Account Manager Keith Dunn. Speaking of disaster, what was that music going on in my ears, Tony? What was that? You heard that in a couple of minutes ago?
Adding a little atmosphere.
Oh, I like that little porn music.
There's a little
I like
pizzazz.
it.
Oh, all right.
I like it. Yeah,
There
I didn't
you
know
go.
what it was.
You're welcome.
I like
Nice little touch, Anthony.
I like it,
Thank
and I
you,
like
Michael.
you. I like it, and I like you, even though you may not like us, and we'll get to that in a second. But first and foremost, this has been a long time coming. Not that long on the comedy scene, Rosie Fiumara, but coming in hot and heavy. You are well respected. A lot of my close friends say, why don't you have Rosie on the show? Mikey works with Rosie. My boy Eric Haft. Tony Walker has you on Fridays. Welcome to the Hershey and the Keegs Show, my friend.
Welcome. Thank you for being hot and heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm really psyched to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
We have a lot of things to talk about. And again, for me, I just met you, and Tony and Mike were like, wait, you never met Rosie before? I didn't, and we've become a little friendly. We've chatted online and so forth, and we thought this was a good idea. I guess first and foremost for me, what I want to know is you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a business owner. How at this point in your life, I assume you're in your 30s or something in that range or whatever, maybe a 4.
That's nice.
How did this come about? How did Rosie become a comic?
I've always wanted to do something like this. I mean, really, ideally, I always imagined myself like back in the day when, we were all watching In Living Color. Mm-hmm. My friends wanted to be a fly girl.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like Fire Marshal Bill.
Rosie Perez was a dancer on that show.
No,
Yes.
it was
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
Okay, there you go.
And
Okay.
everybody wanted to do that. I wanted to be like, let me show you something. Like I always wanted, I wanted to do sketch comedy,
Yeah.
and I was busy. I had to go to school. My parents put a lot of pressure on me to go to school, and I just didn't have.
And
the
where'd you grow
luxury.
up, by the way? I don't even know that.
I grew up in Bayshore on the
Bayshore,
Island.
okay.
Yeah, I went to Bayshore High School.
Okay.
And I just, I didn't make time for it. I just.
So it was an itch that you've been waiting to scratch for all these years.
Yes.
And then how did it happen? I'm going to take a class. I'm going to just start doing mics. How did this come about?
I found out that in the building where we have the bridal shop, they were going to be opening up a bar in the corner that they were going to be doing open mics.
Yes.
Okay.
So
formerly Ziggy's, where we used to do
Yes.
comedy
Oh,
shows
that's
there.
right. You used to do shows at
Yeah.
Ziggy's, yeah.
And I didn't even know that was an option. I would just walk by it and be like, old man bar, not going in.
Yeah.
Creepy, and
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh, I think they're going to be doing open mic. So in my mind, I had this instead of doing the show in the office at the end of the night, like making fun of customers that were just out of their minds,
Yeah.
or like, you know, had hair from here to here, or like boobs down to here, and they didn't want to wear a bra. Like, instead of doing my own show
Slow
with
down.
the, you know.
Come on. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Now it's getting hot and heavy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a
Instead
shit
of
about
do-
your childhood.
Hairy boobs.
Instead of
hairy
doing-
boobs down to your knees. Let's get into that.
Instead of doing my own show for like my staff and friends,
Okay.
and being pimped out at family barbecues by my parents for their friends,
Yeah.
instead of telling all the stories, I was like, oh, I could do my storytelling maybe there. But it took forever. And like, they're never opening. When are we opening? When are we opening?
Yeah.
When are we opening? So one of the girls that works for us was like, you know, that the brokerage has a comedy class. And I was like, how do you teach somebody to do comedy? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I was like, you know what? Let me go and check it out. So I called. And Rich Walker, I go all the Walkers, I get confused. I almost
He's,
said
he's
Tony
still
Walker.
trying to figure out how to teach people to do comedy. Okay.
So nice.
I'd love him.
my friend.
So
I started the same way with the same phone call, by the way. You wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't
Oh,
Rich
that's
Walker.
right.
Yes.
So I called, and Rich was so nice, and he said,
Yeah.
"Why don't you come down and just observe?"
Yeah.
So I went into a class, and I saw, at the time it was 3 or 4 guys, of which 3 of those 4 guys wound up in the class that I took again.
Okay.
They did it
The second
when-
time.
the
in a
second
row.
time.
Yeah.
and it happened to be the class like the right before the recital, I call it, their showcase.
Yes.
Graduation
And
show,
it was
yeah.
craziness. Like
Yeah.
they were up there, and they were, you know, and Peter Bales was telling them this, and Rich and Peter were arguing,
Fighting and yeah.
you know,
which,
and there
which,
was just
which
those
tag is in
scratching
front
each
of
other's
your-
eyes out.
scratching each
Yeah.
other, and
My
you
2
know,
gay grandpas, I call them.
Yeah.
and I was sitting by the water pitcher, you know, and I was sitting there, and I was saying, I don't know what's going on in here,
Right. But I like it.
but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? It'll be a bucket list moment. It'll just be something
Yeah.
I can say I did. It'll be like a little hobby.
Yep.
It'll be an outlet, and it's on Tuesdays. I'm off on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, there's nothing happening.
And it's my day off.
Ever
so I
since
said,
Happy Days went off the air 35 years ago, there's nothing going on. Yeah.
and I
Still.
went, and I said, it's 6 Tuesdays. I got this.
Boom.
And I loved it. And I had such a good response to the showcase, and I had a lot of people come, and
Yeah.
they all thought that they were like, you kind of are natural with it. Like, I just felt comfortable up there. And as soon as I got that first laugh, I just kind of settled in, and I was like, oh,
This is it.
and I didn't want it to just be that one show anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's my whole intention. The first time I was gonna do comedy was do one time, see if I can make strangers laugh, and never do it again. And then
That was the audience's intention.
I was like, I hope he
also.
never does this again. Exactly.
And here I am, and July 9th will be a year.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Wow, you're not even at a year yet, and you're so it's interesting the dynamic. Sometimes people start doing stand up and they just hit it, and not so much just. I've never seen you perform on stage, so I can't comment on that. But certainly, you've earned a level of respect from people that I respect. So obviously, Rich Walker is one of my first mentors. Peter Bale, same thing. Eric Haft is one of my best friends. Mikey. So the fact that they speak highly of you means that you've somehow escalated yourself pretty quickly through this process, probably a little faster than most people. I don't know if that's because you've just kind of been preparing for this for a long time mentally. Being a business owner, and certainly the kind of business that you're in, you do a lot of showmanship every day, I'm assuming. So this is not totally blind to you. Well, you didn't just walk in and then start performing. You kind of performed every day.
You
for
have
the
to
past,
perform every day.
Yeah.
You have to, you know, we do fashion shows.
Yeah.
You're performing for an audience all the time.
All
Your
the time.
staff, your
Yeah.
customers. You know, you're putting on a performance
Little show
all the time.
every day.
And I'll tell you a little bit touching on what you said.
Yeah.
How Rosie kind of fit in with all of us and is doing shows with all of us now. Like, there's so many people that just start doing comedy and they get so friggin' annoying, and you don't like them. Rosie's like, she hangs out. She's one of the guys. Me and Half, we all hang out.
So-
she's fun. She's not obnoxious.
Yeah.
She doesn't come off stage like, oh, I just killed up there. She comes and hangs, and we have a good time. She's a fun hang.
So that's an interesting thing. We talk about it. You and I constantly talk about it. The way this show started was you and I would love hang out in the green room with each other starting 13 years ago. Kind of how this show happened. So the fact that it's very hard to be on a comedy hang when you're new. It's really difficult. I used to find I would sit the first time Peter Bales and Walker invited me to go to the diner with them after a class, which was summer of 2010, and I would just sit there and I wouldn't say a word because I had seen Walker perform and Bales and at the time Lazarus, and I was like so enamored by like these guys are letting me hang out.
Exactly.
So did you ever have that intimidation, or you just was like, I'm going to be myself and just hang out with these guys or girls or whoever?
I just always felt very comfortable.
Yeah.
And those diner nights are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
it's
best.
It's the best.
The best.
There's
Like,
nothing better.
I miss actually the Massapequa diner and that
Yeah.
weirdo diner that Rich likes.
Oh, East Bay probably. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Cuckoo
why are
Diner.
we going to this diner? Okay.
Yeah,
But
I like the
remember,
pancakes there.
He's
One
like, I
night-
got to get a little soup.
Yeah.
One night in particular, you were very new. You came to our show that I was doing with, like, I guess it was Haft and Roach and Carrie. We were doing it at the North Shore Towers. And you came and you hung out and you were cool and you weren't obnoxious. And then we all went out to dinner afterwards. And I'm like, I like this chick. She's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you had those oysters.
Yeah, the oysters there were awesome. That's right. Exactly.
Mike always tends to eat things that will bring him to the brink of death before anybody else possibly.
I'll eat 24 oysters and then
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we're in Dunkin' Donuts. Why are you ordering oysters? Stop that.
I was like, what the hell did he just
Oysters.
get?
I love oysters.
That's so funny.
Yes, it was called Gallo, the restaurant.
Gallo was
In
exactly.
Queens.
Yep,
Look at
exactly.
that.
Yep.
That was a memorable night.
That was a great night. We had a lot of fun, and it was a great crew. It was Rosie, Eric Haft, Carrie, Roach.
That's the crew.
And Pete, Mike Delaquila.
Mike Delaquila
Mike,
was there.
terrific
Yes,
dude,
he picked
yeah.
up the bill because he's very wealthy.
Yeah, you told me
And-
about that. Yeah.
Yes, he's a real estate mogul.
Yes, he's,
But that's like that's the crew. Like when we talk about our people, that's our crew right
Yeah.
there. So I'm curious. Obviously, this was probably a little bit out of left field for. I mean, again, I don't know who your support team at home, your husband, your family, if you have any siblings, or what was the response? Was it like, wait, you're doing what? And is this for real? And you're going out when? And like, what? How's the support been?
It depends. Sometimes it's a little bit tough.
Okay.
The support is there for sure. Because again, I've never been able to choose anything that I've wanted to do. I'm in a family business. Even with college, like it was like you have to go to a good school because we didn't go to college.
Right.
We want you to go to school. We want you to be the first college graduate in our family.
Sure.
So there was, like I said, that pressure.
because they were Puerto Ricans. They don't really.
My father was Sicilian, but even he, it was like my parents grew up very poor. They didn't have the opportunities. They worked so hard to build this business to give my brother and I that opportunity that I felt this need to, like, be that kid that was like, yeah, okay, I don't want to disappoint you. So as I got older, I felt like there was like these check marks that I had to do to not like disappoint them. So as I grew up and I wound up in the business, it was like at first I went into the business, okay, I'm going to go into the business just for a little bit, and then I'll find my way and do something maybe that I want to do differently.
Right.
And then I kind of liked the business.
And the business became part of you.
The business.
The business
Yeah,
became about
yeah.
the business.
Yeah.
And I there are aspects of the business that I do love, but there are aspects of the business that I despise.
Okay.
I love the freedom of it.
Sure.
When you have your own business, there are, you can do, I want to go away, or
Right.
there are things, I got to go. I'm going to come in late. I want to go to the gym when you can.
Yeah.
Right.
But then there are times where you are a slave to the business. Like we just recently had this fire, and
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. it's
I'm
taking your
in a
whole-
tizzy. It's like I'm so
Right.
stressed out. I don't know what side is up. And then you have people that are like, I'm leaving. I'm waiting 20 minutes, and you people are rude because I'm leaving. I'm waiting 20 minutes for my fitting, and it's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
You know what would have been
Savages.
inconvenience?
The whole place burning
If
down.
your fucking gown bursts into flames.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You
That's
know,
right.
that would have been a real inconvenience.
That
I'm
would've
sorry
been-
you have to wait 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm really
exactly.
sorry.
Like my livelihood. There was a fire in my livelihood just now.
right.
You know, I
You're gonna
haven't
complain.
slept in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to wait 20 minutes for your fitting. And you're 47 and you're wearing a ball gown. Your tits are down to your knees. And not for nothing.
we
you
want
know,
more talk about that.
Talking about me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Your ball gown survived, though, I heard.
My ball
You
gown
know,
survived. Yeah.
and not for
Ball gown's
nothing, if your gown bursts into flames, your gown would have been one they didn't have hanging around.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's be
exactly.
happy. Let's be happy. She hung up on me.
Yeah.
Rosie, are your friends like you're the funniest thing ever? We can't believe you're doing this. Like, what kind of feedback are you getting for your buddies, your non-comedy buddies, like your outside people?
I think they're tired of me.
Wait, as a comic already, you mean, or just
as a
I-
person in
As a
general?
person, I mean, some of my closest friends that I thought would be around and come and see me a little bit more have kind of surprised me and have not.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mikey
And I
Mikey
can
is
tell
the
you-
preacher of that choir.
I can tell you,
Go ahead and tell her.
Yeah, 13 years in this business. I'm still waiting for a lot of people to
Yeah,
come
like a
out
lot of people
once.
that I thought would really come out and support me just
So, Mike,
I'm gonna come see a show. I'm
Yeah.
gonna, I'm good. The show. Send me the dates again.
when's the next time?
When's the next time you're gonna
Yeah.
be?
When's the next
Just tell
time?
me when you're gonna be. I'm gonna go. And then there's people that I haven't seen in 10 years.
Yeah.
That have showed up to 2
Oh,
shows.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm so proud of you. I have been
How
telling
great
you
does
this.
that feel?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's some people that I'm a little.
Yeah.
But you know what? Look, I get it.
Yeah.
People are busy. And this is
They're
my
they're
thing.
busy,
it's not
but
their
then
thing.
they're not busy to spend $200 to go see Sebastian Maniscalco,
Right.
but they'll never
So
come to one of your
Mikey's
shows.
No,
not-
they won't come to Belmore
Mikey's
on a
not
Thursday night because it's a school night.
Yeah.
He's not the most sensitive person always, but with this subject though, for years it gets in your craw. Well,
yeah.
you'll text me, you're like, these motherfuckers were gonna come
Yeah.
see our show, but
Yeah.
they went to see Jim Gaffigan
Exactly.
in Beacon
And-
Theater,
yeah.
which is a whole fucking production.
It's a whole. You
Yeah.
got to get sitting. You got to
Yeah.
go into the city. You got to
Yeah.
spend $200 on
Yeah,
a ticket.
when we had a show like right in the main room of Governors on a Friday night at 10
Yeah.
o'clock. Yeah. It's been a long time for me, and I've gotten to the point where I realize that the people who want to see me perform will see me, and the ones that don't, it's their loss.
And
how I
that's
feel about
okay.
it.
And
Yeah.
you know what? Like, I'm the type of person, and like my mother has always said to me, Rosie, you don't give because you expect people to return.
Yeah.
I
And
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no true words. Like, you can't ever do for others because you will always be disappointed.
That's right. That is true, but
true.
Certainly when you live your life a certain way, you live as a good person, and you've given to people. This kind of thing is where you hope a little bit comes back, and when it doesn't, it's tough. It hurts a
Yeah,
little
it
bit.
does.
Yeah, so you can say, I agree with what your mom says, but when you see when someone says, "Oh, I'll be there," and then they're not there, and you check the list, and it stings a little bit.
And then you see them, and then every time you see them,
When's
you
the
wanna
next
you wanna
show?
to your show?
Yeah.
I tell them everything's on Facebook. Just look. I don't even
Yeah.
bother texting people. My
but you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Didn't tell
I'm
me yet.
posting
I
left and
posted
right.
about it.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Grinder,
Yeah.
everything.
Exactly.
It's all
I
over
put
the
all my
place.
stuff
You
on
sent me
Grindr.
37 memes
Yeah.
on Instagram this week.
Yeah, everything.
You're on
there.
Instagram.
You comment on every
it.
one of my posts except for the ones where I'm promoting a show that I'm doing.
But you know what? And honestly, I sound bitter, but I'm really not.
You're not.
I mean,
Yeah.
the support
You
has
will be.
been you will
Yeah.
be.
Give it time.
Give it another
Give it
year.
time.
You haven't even
The
a year yet.
support has been overwhelming,
Yeah.
and I've made so many new connections and
Yeah.
friends.
You definitely have in a
Oh
very
my
short period of
God,
time.
Like
Yeah.
people have been amazing.
Yeah.
Like Mike,
And thank you.
he really has,
thank you.
and Carla. Like people
Yeah.
have really just
Well,
supported me and put me on shows, probably
Yeah.
shows I shouldn't even be on, that I'm like happy to even have like 6-7 minutes on, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's this opportunity that I have to perform on stages that like I have other people that have gone through the same school or have gone through the same open mics that are like, how do you get the stage time? And I'm like,
You know what, Rosie? Good.
I don't know, and I'm just so happy to be here.
Good
I'm
begets
not going to
good.
ask too many questions, and
Good begets good, and people like to hang out with people they like to hang out with. And so it's a matter of a comedy show. There's a lot of things to it. So it's about, is this person going to show up on time? Are they going to complain about the location of where they are on the show? Are they going to complain about how many minutes they're going to get? We don't want to deal with that
Exactly.
shit, especially if Mikey's booking a show. But when you have someone like, oh, I can put half on the show and Rosie and Roach, and it's going to be a home run show, and I can just chill.
Well, like, I
That's
know
what you want.
Every
as
time I
a-
put someone on a show, they're like, you know what? Can I actually go up earlier? Or
Right.
can I go up later?
Do I have to
And-
leave. I
no,
can't
just-
say goodbye to the audience or
Exactly,
shit like that. So
And-
if you're playing the game the right way, which you are, it's definitely going to help you.
That's
There's
what
no
you
doubt.
fly under the radar. You be nice to people. That's all it is. And I'm partial, but you found the best group of people in my opinion, in comedy to hang out with the Halfs and me
No
and
doubt.
Mark and Carla.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great group of people. We're always working. We're always trying to find opportunities for other people.
Yeah.
And, that's all it really takes. And then I see people complaining that I won't. I'm like, well, when do you ever leave your house? You don't go to open mics. You don't come to shows that I'm producing to come and hang out and. And I'm talking about exactly Mark. No, but I'm talking about people that are never going up, and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't see you anywhere. Like, you don't stop down on a show. Like, when I was starting out, I drove to Boston to go to watch a show that I wanted to be on to meet the booker, and
you would lose money to go do something like that, which eventually would beget business for you.
Eventually, I met the booker, and
Yeah.
now I work for them a few times a year. And
So
Like, people would say to me, like, why are you going with Eric to Tarrytown?
yeah,
to go, you're not on the show.
Right.
But
it's huge.
let me tell you
Mike
something.
did those runs
It was
with
such
him.
an experience for
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah.
I met this one girl, Erin
Yeah.
Brockovich.
She had so many
that
different
whistleblower. What a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
No.
Cancer, schmancer.
She's very thin. She's a very popular comic. She works mostly in the city. She's beautiful, this redhead. I got to get her name. She is funny.
Tony, help us.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll find her.
Yeah.
I'll find her. I forget her last name. Super Irish girl. She did this whole bit on the Italian, not the Knights of Columbus, but what's the Italian version?
There is let's see.
Sons of Italy.
Yes.
Yeah.
She did this thing about going to the Sons of Italy as like this real redhead Irish girl.
Yeah.
That was just absolutely
Killer.
Aaron McGuire.
yes.
Aaron
Yeah.
McGuire. Did I say
Yeah.
McHugh? I meant McGuire.
Yeah.
That's right.
I saw her.
She's very funny.
I was absolutely blown away, like Carrie level.
Yeah.
Blown away by
Yeah.
this female comic, and it's so nice to see like a woman at that level just command the stage. And she was like second to last, and now I follow her, and I just love seeing her bits. She was just on the Tonight Show recently.
Wow.
And it's like I'm introduced to people that I wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Exactly.
Like, she's not going to be, at the brokerage.
Right.
So I was able to see somebody,
Yeah.
from another.
Well, out of the box.
And you know what it is? I could, you love comedy like I love comedy. Then that's why I would take those rides. I'm like, you know what? I still get to see free comedy. I still see people that are great at what they do, and I get
and
to
be
get to
side
learn-
of stage, and
get
then go talk
learn-
to them
Yeah.
backstage and ask them how they started and
Yeah.
what they're up to, and
Pick their brain.
and what's his name, John Ivorone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the show that
Okay,
night,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
got to meet him and meet his daughter, and it was just such a nice.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's like I wouldn't have that opportunity.
Rosie, that's the good stuff. Tell us, or don't tell us, but if you want to. But as far as some of the lecherous creeps that reach out, how are you handling that? Because it happens. It's Long Island. People that are not even comics reaching out because they're comedy fans and they're saying creepy things. How are you handling that?
Well, I've had to block a lot of people.
Yep.
I have had to block a lot of people because there's a fine line. You really try to be kind
And respectful.
because
and,
you
yeah.
want people to come and see you.
Yeah.
And you want to kind of build sort of like a fan base in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
Like 2 women came to see the show in the Giggle Room the other night, and they left right after I went on, and they told one of the girls at the bar, "Oh, we came to see Rosie, and now we're leaving." I was like, "What? What?"
That's so
Isn't that
cool.
cool?
You really? Like, oh my God, I just turned into Olga. Really? Oh my God. But
Jizzed on my neck.
But there's a fine line between that and then some of these guys really cross the line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a multitude of penises that I'm sure some of them are either prosthetics or
I
just
told
not,
you to stop, you fucking animal.
not their own.
It's not
I
a
told you.
prosthetic though.
I mean,
Tony's
and
is.
some of the stuff I've
What the fuck?
You got a problem with prosthetics?
Yeah.
some of the things
You're
that
an
I've seen.
anti-prostate.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I've gotten and some of the things that these guys have sent, I've saved.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can we see them?
Yes, because I have
I always
to,
wanted to see Peter Bell's penis.
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Table for balls for 2. Here's my balls.
balls for two. Because I eventually have to go on a stage and just read these out loud. I have to figure out a way.
The verbiage, you mean,
Oh.
not actually showing.
Oh,
their-
no, I'm
their-
not showing, but, like,
the
some of
Franks
the-
and beans.
some of the-
Yeah.
Do like a PowerPoint.
and they get mad at me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm like, you live in Sarasota. I'm like,
Right.
what do you want from me anyway?
All right,
You know?
look who lives in Sarasota.
No, we know that. A PowerPoint would be good. Why is that guy missing a leg? No, not pay attention to that part. Just the actual.
You know, and I mean, I have to say, the guys that I have met in the clubs in person,
The real people
the real
that are
comics
important. Yeah.
have been, every single one of them have been,
respectful.
Yeah.
And the way they're supposed to be as grown men.
So far, yeah.
yeah, so far.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah, okay, good.
And I think it's because, and maybe it's because they see that I have kind of aligned myself with good people.
I hope that's a reason.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again.
Because I've heard stories.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of the stories, so that's kind of why I asked. But I think certainly that you didn't really know who to align yourself with. You just kind of it kind of happened naturally, organically that you Haft and Walker.
Well,
and
I met
Keegan.
Eric at class.
Oh, right, because he would
Because
come
he
and hang
came
out.
in as a mentor during
Yeah.
the class, and
Yeah.
then he performed at
the
the
graduation
showcase
show. Yeah,
at the
yeah.
graduation,
I used to do that
and
too,
same thing.
yeah.
I met Rich Rader the same way.
Yes. Oh yeah, Rich Rader.
And I love him. He'd be part of the diner crew, and he just absolutely cracks me up.
Rich
He
Rader's
just-
a great guy. Yeah.
You know, and who else have I met that way? That's been so great. What's his name? That's going to be in the movie next week. Teddy
Smith.
He's so funny.
Terrific.
Yeah, he's
one of the
one
best,
of the funniest guys.
One of the
yeah,
top
yeah.
headliners probably
He
on the
is.
Northeast. Yeah.
And another night, like I went to McGuire's just to see
Him
him
do his thing.
perform and
Yeah.
just do his thing because I had only seen bits and pieces and little clips, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? He's headlining there that night. Let me just go and
Yeah.
and see him. And he was
Very
Yeah.
African American gentleman. In case anybody wants to look him up.
Yes,
Teddy
he
Smith.
is.
he's funny.
Well, you have one kid, is that right? You have
have
one little
one
boy?
son.
How old is he? He's
I took him to buy sneakers
Oh,
tonight.
yeah.
He's adorable.
He's-
He's a wise ass. He is sassy, very bright, but he's got some freaking mouth on
12?
him. Sassy.
How
No,
old?
he's going to be 11 in
11.
July.
Okay. So what does he think of mommy being a comic? What to tell us
He
about
loves
that?
it. He loves that I incorporate him a little bit into my act.
Okay.
But I added a line, and I forgot, and I was playing my set in the car, like re-listening to it the other night from the Giggle Room, and I added a line that says, so my son for his birthday he wanted to take hip hop dance lessons, and I said, because he sucks at sports.
Oh boy.
And I went,
Well, now he's gonna be gay. Good. Thank you, Rosie. Good
and
job.
I just
Good
I
job.
did this, and he goes, I go, it's funny. I go, it's not real. I make fun of everybody.
Have you brought him to any of your shows?
No, because you have to be 16.
We'll bring Juliana when we can, like not to the clubs or anything, but sometimes we'll bring Juliana.
Yeah, like
but
private
then-
shows, you can
Yeah.
get away
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
I remember we brought her to one show and Carla made a joke and it was about Juliana and it wasn't even bad or anything, but Juliana just heard her name and she looks up and she just starts crying. And she's like, that's not true. I didn't do that. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
That's
She was so
amazing.
pissed. She wouldn't talk to Carla for like 2 days. It was hilarious.
So I will
She
tell
was
you.
at the doc show that we did.
Oh yeah. She was.
Oh, that's
she
you
was
bring
at
in the doc
show.
sometimes. Yeah. I will tell you that. So my oldest daughter, who is 22 and has never had any interest in my stand up whatsoever, has still never seen any of it. But my other two kids have. My 20-year-old, when she turned 16, her and her friends came, and she sat right in the front at this show place right here. What's it called?
Governor's Comedy Club,
in
Levittown, New
yeah.
York,
And she was like,
At this
she couldn't
show.
even breathe, laughing so hard. And then my son Max, who's 14, this was maybe like 3 years ago, and I found him during it was a Sunday day show, and he was outside talking to Monty and Keegan in the back of and he's like, I heard your whole set because I guess they pipe it into the front, like you can hear it
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, and Max was riding his bike
He was
around.
riding his bike, and he just happened to be over here, and he needed a ride home because at the time he wasn't allowed to cross the turnpike, so he heard my whole set. And he's not as easy with the compliments, but you could tell he got a kick out of it. So when your boy is old enough to be able to see you, it's going to be a thrill of a lifetime
Yeah.
for you. It's going to be, you're going to love every second of it, and he will too.
Well, it takes time away from him,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, a lot of it is later.
Yeah.
So it's like I do things with him. Like tonight, I took him
little
he
sneaker
went,
shopping.
You know, he went to Chipotle for the first time tonight.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That's a life-changing experience.
Oh, he said to me, "What is in this magic bowl?"
Yes.
What is this that I'm eating here? And I was like, "Are you done? I'll throw it out." No, I'm taking
Exactly.
it home.
That's going to be a
So
lifelong
cute.
addiction.
Oh, he
now.
was so excited. So we
So
did
cute.
that, and he needed sneakers, and we went then. And then I started freaking out because I was going to be late, and I was like having to figure out where to, you know. But I do that, and then
Yeah.
you know. So it's
You
like
make it work.
You make it work, and
Yeah.
obviously I'm not your typical mother. You know, I am. I made sure every year I was a class mom.
Yeah.
But I do. I work full time. I have a business.
Yep.
I'm not your mother. I'm not up his ass. I'm just not the mother.
Yeah.
You know, I remember my best friend Janet growing up when I told her that I was having him, and I had him late. You know, I was almost 38.
28.
I was
Yeah.
almost 20. Thank
Yeah.
you. I was almost 38. You know, when I had him, and she 38, 39.
Exactly.
You can't add. Don't worry.
I remember,
That's
and
right.
she knows
You'll need
me.
an abacus to
we
figure
met,
this out.
We met in 4th grade, and I remember she said to me, "You're gonna have a child?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're gonna be a mom?" She just was like almost repulsed. Like,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to do that. Because I am kind of selfish. I just am. You
Yeah,
know,
we know.
I am.
Yeah.
You know, I take care of myself. I spend time on myself. Like
Yeah.
I go to the gym. I take time for self-care, but I feel like that's important. It's like, you have to put your own,
Yeah.
mask on before you
Yeah,
can
because
take
then
care
you'll
of
end up
somebody else.
resenting everything else if you're not taking care of yourself.
Right.
I feel like I
Yeah.
have, like,
Yeah.
for me, that's important.
Balance.
But I want him to see that, to take care of yourself. And,
Yeah.
and I want him to see that I'm happy. Because I feel that that's important, and I don't want to like lose sight of that, like, because I feel that that's important, and I want him to take care of himself.
Yeah, and he'll emulate you as time
Yeah,
goes
and
on.
I just feel like I don't know, I'm just not your. I don't know. I'm just like sometimes, and I do suffer from mom guilt sometimes. But I don't miss the big things.
Yeah.
I'm there with him every single
That's all that
morning.
matters.
I do the
Exactly.
puppet show
Right.
in the morning with the eggs, and
Yeah.
with the school. I've been a class mom since he's in pre-K.
The hip hop thing you'll be at.
I do all the recitals, all the
his ballet,
concerts,
his
all,
ballet recital.
all the
it's not
Nismas, all
ballet.
the-
It's not. It's not.
not?
And
Oh.
she said Nisma, so relax yourself, okay?
Nambla?
No, that's what you're in. That's different.
We're very close. He tells me everything. He's
Yeah.
very comfortable talking to me. I'm very open with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I speak to him like he's an adult. Like I don't hide things from him. I don't, I'll tell him, you're going to get hairs on your balls
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
and you're going to smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's
Like
going to happen
You're gonna
soon.
get hair on your balls.
When?
And soon.
No, probably like in 2 weeks.
Really?
3
All right,
weeks.
nice. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
And he's
Yeah.
like, I
look
am.
forward.
And the
And I'm
smelling
like,
part, you
yeah.
got down
And then,
pat already.
and I tell him, I'm like, your body's going to change and this, that. And like, I
Wow.
have friends that are like, I don't know what to do. I can't talk to my kids about
Yeah.
that. I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean you
It's not
can't talk to
easy.
your kids
Yeah.
about that?
It's-
Oh, for me, it's very easy. Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell him the craziest things, and he
Right.
looks at me like,
Yeah. There's going to be 3 more that grow down there.
but it's just the way I am. And it is what it is. I don't know if I'm doing, I guess
Yeah.
as a parent.
You're doing good, Rosie
You
girl.
don't know if you're doing, you
Yeah.
have
You're going to
3.
get a girl
Yeah.
pregnant,
You
then
don't-
you're going to have to pay to get it taken care of.
Right.
That
You don't
kind
know
of stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna hide the kid, and then the kids are gonna come back when you're older. And now there's all these DNA tests.
Exactly.
You gotta
That's
be
right.
careful.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
a
know,
battle.
and you don't know if you're doing the right thing.
You're doing the right
You
thing.
don't know.
Well, he also grew up around Anthony Samaglia and Patty Samaglia, my best friend from high school.
Oh, I forgot about that connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about
And
that
they
connection.
there's no filter on those people.
Oh
so
no!
he
He dyes eggs around every Easter with Patty Samaglia, who
is my best friend growing up. His mother,
That's right.
who never had a filter when we were growing up. You
Right.
know, and
Yeah.
and
and as you
Anthony's
get older, the
nuts.
filter
What a
gets
strange
weaker
small
and
world
weaker.
connection.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. All right, we're going to hit on that and some more. We're going to go to our second round of sponsors real quick, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk some more stuff with Rosie.
Thanks, Mark.
Our second... what?
I said thanks, Mark.
Why are you doing that for?
No, because you're doing great.
I usually do. The Herschy and Keegs show is proudly sponsored by, our good friend Eric Haft, Sunray Services. Now is the best time to convert to hybrid heating and cooling. Call them today at 631-231-5533 or visit them online at www.sunrayservices.com. Herschy and the Keegs Show is sponsored by Triple M Professional Painting and Construction, 516-395-6390. Family owned and operated for over 35 years. Call for your free estimate today and ask for my man James. And then, of course, we have Angela's Bra Boutique at 223 Main Street in Farmingdale, 516-249-6409. Personalized bra fittings providing a wide selection of brands, sizes, and styles. 10% off your purchase when you mention the Herschy and the Keegs Show. And of course, our dear friends at Demolition Specialists, 1-855-RIP-OUTS, the number you call for demolition, dumpsters, and fence rental. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. They are a fully licensed demolition contractor. And of course, last but not least, New York State licensed real estate person, Diane Keegan.
Oh, wow. My mother.
That's
I know,
your
I know
mom.
That, lady.
That is your mom,
look
yeah.
at that.
She's from All Island Estates Realty Corporation. You can call Diane directly at 516-458-1864 or email her at diane@allislandestates.com. If you're looking to rent, sell, or buy, make Diane your first call. We have had people that have used Diane, and they've been very happy, and they will continue to be, because Diane is the absolute
She's
best.
good at what she does.
And that wraps up our sponsors for tonight. Thank you, as always, for sponsoring us and supporting us, and please, to our viewers and listeners, reach out to them. They're all wonderful people. Okay.
Funny Diane real estate story.
Let's
real
do
quick,
it.
Though,
Let's
before
do it.
we continue.
Yeah, of course.
She just
beautiful
sold a
she
house,
is. Yeah.
and the owners that bought the house
Mm-hmm.
found out that the previous owners had buried 2 dogs in the backyard.
Oh, Jesus.
So they don't want them there anymore. They want them dug up and disposed of.
Disposed.
And they were large German shepherds, and they buried them in these like stainless steel coffins or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So who the hell's gonna dig up these dogs and dispose?
The new owners,
you know,
probably.
they didn't want to do it. They wanted to hire someone. I got good old Joe Milonis to go over there today.
Is Joe Milonis a German Shepherd Retriever?
He's a German Shepherd retriever.
Oh, my
is
God.
that his thing?
No,
Like
he does like odd jobs and stuff,
Okay.
and I'm like, you know what, call Joe. That's what he does. Like he does, I don't know, window washing or.
So I'm just.
Limo driver too.
I think so. He does a little bit of everything.
How did the conversation come up? Like, they just fessed up? Like, how would they even know?
I guess you'd have to ask my mom, but like I guess the previous owners had mentioned that the dogs are back there and that they didn't want them there, and I was like, who am I gonna get to dig these up? I'm like, Joe Milonis will do anything for a buck.
So let me ask you: did the previous owners know that their dogs had been removed, and what was happening with them after the removal?
they just I think he's taking them down to the town dump or something.
Just dumping them?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that? I don't even know if that's.
I don't know if it's legal or anything. I probably shouldn't even be saying.
No,
it.
it's probably. We're probably. This is probably the last
Word.
episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And chances are, I'm assuming that the first group of people, the previous owner, were telling them almost like it was a nice thing, like take care of our babies,
exactly.
take care of Fido and Rover back there.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll take care of them.
Yeah, now they're at the Merrick dump with people's fucking thrown out chairs and couches and shit like
live
that.
above Pet Cemetery.
Oh my God, it's where the dead speak. Wow, that's
I don't want to
crazy.
go up that route.
That's story, Mike.
Yeah, it is a pretty good story.
Great story.
Right? So it was on my mind today because Joe just dug them up today. He was sending me pictures.
Well, that's nice. Really nice, Mike. That's wonderful. So
Imagine the wet soil.
I know, it's just it must have been a nightmare out there. And it was a one man job. He was doing it himself today. The guy doesn't look like it, but he's in good shape and works hard.
Yeah, I wonder how deep the dig was.
Dig deep? How it was 3 feet dig deep.
3 feet.
Isn't that a
Okay.
video game, Dig Deep?
Dig dug.
That's what he actually did it to that. It was-
Yeah, exactly. But
Wow.
yeah, they said it was like 3 feet down. So
Wow.
yeah.
All right. We'll have to get Milonis on to talk more about
Yes.
that. All right. So we're going to kind of transition. We did a little
Are
interview
we?
with Rosie, but there's a few things that Rosie's just going to join our panel now and talk about some things. Tony, you want to put your mic on? Because I'm going to incorporate this. You didn't respond, but there was a thread going on, Mikey. You didn't respond to it either. And Rosie must have said something like, I'm looking forward to the show. And I said something. And then Tony just typed in, it's going to be a mess, is what he wrote.
That's right.
So I want to know. I want to know what did you mean by that?
Is this a mess, Tony?
Was it something derogatory about me and Mikey? Was it about Rosie? What was why was it going to be a mess tonight?
No, it's none of those things. I was jokingly insinuating that it was just going to be like crazy
Chaos. A lot of
Chaos.
different personalities flying around
Yes.
the room.
Okay.
It was what's known as a joke. Just
okay.
messing around.
Tony, like so often, your jokes miss, so I wasn't sure.
Well,
I knew it
me.
was a
Go
joke.
ahead.
well,
Go.
since we're talking about stuff like this,
let's
I
do it.
actually would like to show you something.
Ow, boy!
Oh,
What
boy.
is
A joke
Mark doesn't
that
like surprises.
a joke that won't miss, or that didn't miss.
Okay.
This is me, Mike, and Don from this past Saturday in this room.
Let's do it.
I'll just let this play
I'm
out a little
excited.
bit.
I was doing a show in the Giggle Room, and Tony had a show.
So
on
Mark left his glasses.
Oh,
here.
we should come on them or something.
Well, Mikey, that's what you get. Right? That's called karma, Mikey, for not doing my show.
That's a great Mark impression.
No, it's not. That was
That was
terrible.
pretty good. Let me
We
try
should
and see
all
if I
put
can
them
do
up
it.
our butts.
I don't know if I can do some more.
What the fuck?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing? So what do we gotta do? We're gonna talk or what? What's going on?
Let me tell you what happened to King Cullen.
Hey, Mike, thanks for being the talent on the show. I know. I'm sorry your back hurts from carrying me for 3 years. A little nebbish Jew.
You want to do an impression of him?
Oh, Mark
Mark
Herschman.
Herschman. We're all doing.
Who else is coming in?
impressions. If you
Uh,
want.
I don't even remember.
That was Jack Adam, I think.
He doesn't
Oh, you don't even know Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that pretty much. Do you have
covers
any stories from King Cullen? Then you can talk.
That's
pretty
amazing.
much-
We had a little
Wait,
fun
so
at your expense,
Tell
Mark.
me what minute, because I want to cut that up. I'll put it on social. What is that?
That is around the 25 minute,
okay.
around
Oh,
25,
I love
30.
that you
somewhere.
guys didn't even tip me off to that. That you didn't even tell me. That's good, because I'm surprised. The old Jackie Martling theory. Don't talk about the material before the show.
right.
That's right.
Well done, boys. Well done. Very good. So one thing that Mikey's been doing, because I asked you, and you're like, Rosie can handle it. Like she can handle it. She's
Absolutely.
not a prude as far as
No.
subject matter or whatever.
I love working with Rosie
Yeah.
on Fridays. We really
but
have a great time.
I am very. You can tell. I was just talking to my mother. I'm very courteous, respectful. I don't want to disrespect you in any way, but obviously, this subject matter won't unnerve you.
So now we know we can disrespect you.
Yeah, we're going to
It's fine.
disrespect you right now. No, this is not. This is something that Mike and I. We text back and forth pretty much every day, I would say, and it's usually memes and GIFs and things like that.
Bet we're besties.
But this is something this is a new thing that Mikey's doing, which at the beginning I thought was like kind of funny, and then now it's getting disturbing almost. Like it's happened like 6 times a day for the past week. Is Mike will send me it's like a trap video where he'll send me a video and it'll be like a cow in the pasture and then chasing a ball, and the next thing you know, but then the video cuts really quick to 2 guys making out. And it's the same 2 guys every time, and they're like, and it's not just like a making out; it's like deep tongue, but it's very quick.
Where do you
It's like
find these?
I have a source.
source, yeah. But so like, and every time you just think like, oh my god, that's so funny. Look at the cow bouncing the ball on its head, and it's the same 2 guys, and they're just deeply entrenched tongues.
Oh, look, it's cute. 2 little dogs playing with a ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that dog falls asleep on the Letterman show. Next thing you know, it's 2 guys kissing, and I thought it was funny like the first 6 times, and then like the 38th time, like this fucking guy is like. First of all, there's some sort of twisted sick site that he's getting these from, or he's making them himself. I don't know, but
What's worse? What would be worse if I knew the site to go to, or if I was sitting there cutting them up
Because
myself?
I was looking and I'm like, I can't even find where he's getting these from.
What do the guys look like?
Not too
They're
bad.
like
They're pretty
2
good looking.
Yeah.
They're like cowboys.
Oh,
I couldn't even tell because it's quick. Like it's just a quick little thing at the end. You can show Rosie if you want, but it's really, really disturbing that.
How about at the end?
Tony.
How about right
Tony's
after?
just like, what?
Well, unfortunately, I can add to this.
Yeah, do it.
2 weeks ago, it's about 2 weeks ago. Mike had a show in the Giga Room with Tyler and
Yeah,
some
it's a
great
great
comedians.
show, yeah.
So me and my buddy Jeff, you
Oh,
guys know Jeff,
Fingers, yeah,
Jeff Skelsey. We
Yep.
came to the show,
yep.
and before the show started, I'm talking to Mikey
Yep.
and another guy that we know came walking by, and they get to talking.
Yeah.
And they were saying how happy they were to see each other, and they
Yeah.
proceeded to start making out right there in the Giggle Room. And I'm trying to eat my freaking dinner.
Who was this?
I don't know.
Take a guess. I bet you you don't even need 3 guesses.
Wait, 2 guys started making out?
No, Mike being one of the
Not
guys.
one of the guys.
Mike and another guy we all know started making out.
Shut the fuck
That's
up.
not even real.
That is totally real.
Making out?
Like long closed mouth kisses.
Okay.
Probably about 2 or 3 of them. They did stop when one of them offered tongue. That is true. I have witnesses to this.
God in heaven. Why would this even be a thing? Was it a bit, an act? Was it
the show wasn't on yet.
So you want to explain what the fuck happened?
I don't know. I wasn't even there.
I'm telling you, it was Mike Keegan. Guess who it was? Just take a guess.
Bozy?
Yes. Yes.
What?
I don't even know if he's allowed in here anymore.
Get Jeff on the phone.
Well, I don't understand. Why?
You think I understand?
What was the story behind this?
I don't know.
You were making out with Bozeman. Is this?
I am not making this up, Mark.
What's the backstory though? Like
there was
like
none.
Someone's like, I'll pay you 2 dicks to $100 to make out.
There was none. It was Mike and I were talking.
Yeah.
And Bozy came in. He just got here. He walks in. They start talking. Oh, it's good to see you. Hey, pal. And the next thing you know, they're kissing.
I don't believe that for a second.
I don't know what is going on.
I have witnesses
One
to
thing
this.
I go along with stories sometimes, but there's times
One thing
when I
about
draw the
Tony,
line.
Tony's a lot of things. A liar is generally not one of them.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. We'll get to the bottom of this. You don't want to touch on it any more than you're.
I would if it was happening, but I go along with the little
All
things that you make me do.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
True story.
Jeez. No, but sometimes I think when I see these things are like, like there's the kiss your best friend thing on social media.
That I don't know.
No, there's like it's like a trend where you kiss your best friend, but it's usually like a guy and a girl.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that if I ever said to you like let's do the trend, you would 100% go along with it.
I don't have any girl best friends.
No, if I'm being your best friend and I would say let's do the makeout challenge, you wouldn't blink for 1 second.
Because I know you, I'm comfortable with you.
It's just we're gonna have to speak to management about videos of the.
You want me to get Bozy on the phone? I'll get him on the phone.
Let's not get Bozy on the phone.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a professional show we run.
Okay, some other stuff, and this is this made me uncomfortable. This is from the world of sports, but are you a sports fan at all, Rosie?
I'm a Rangers fan.
Okay, so you may or may not know there's a very famous women's basketball coach named Gino Auriemma, UConn basketball coach. He's coached for 40 years. He's won 12 championships, but he's only coached the women. So he's very well known in the world of sports. Anyway, there was a talk show, I think it was a podcast the other day, with 2 of his former players. It was Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and Sue Bird's married to that Megan
Larry Bird?
No, Big Bird. She's married to Big Bird. No, Sue Bird is married to that Rapinoe, that soccer player, whatever. And Sue Bird told a story that I was so uncomfortable about, and I wanted to know your opinion, and certainly, Rosie, you can chime in on this also. So basically, Sue Bird's telling a story that she said, Gino came into our locker room once, and we were doing bad at halftime, and he said we were playing nervous and uncomfortable, and he said, the reason why you guys are doing badly is because your assholes are like this. And he did like this, like meaning that their assholes were tight, and right off the bat, I'm thinking, first of all, why is he in the woman's locker room? That's uncomfortable. Am I wrong, Mikey?
That's very uncomfortable.
Yes,
that's unprofessional.
I'm asking. I was making out with Jeff Bozy last Saturday, and he's asking.
No, I don't agree with men being in women's locker rooms.
So that's number one.
But
Number
even
two,
as the coach, if like all clear.
Yeah, no
so
clear.
I guess my question also is this:
There should be a common room.
There should be, but do you think in 40 years? I wonder, 40 years of being a woman's coach, you don't think he's ever saw like an ass cheek or a breast?
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure he has. Lot.
And is that right, Mikey?
It's not. I mean, I'm sure most of the players though aren't into the guys.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's like seeing another dude in the locker room, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's true,
but it's still not appropriate.
But should he be talking about their sphincter
No,
regions?
he should not be talking about.
No.
Yeah, it made me very uncomfortable.
I think the comment is a little stranger than him being there.
That's what I thought. And meanwhile, the whole audience is like laughing, and I'm like, this is sick. This is sick. I mean, now nothing is sicker than what we just heard. So my story falls like a big fucking tree in the woods.
Well, I don't agree with what that man did.
I like that. I like that. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of creepy, and I'm always curious as to like how do these men's coaches and women's sports? Mikey, what are you
And
fixated
how does
on
he
here?
know that their assholes are so
That's
I don't know.
exactly right. What are you showing her?
He doesn't.
What are you doing? Can you share with us?
Yeah, it was one of the ones that I sent you.
Oh, it's just again with
yeah.
the
It's the ice
theme.
fishing.
The
and
ice fishing one.
Right. So you're gonna now get
And then you know
more
what's
of
even
these now.
funnier? Every
Yeah.
time I send it to him, like, show Max his son.
I don't
Show
know
this
why
to
you
Max.
keep on saying that also. And I'm like, why is he saying that? I'm not gonna show my son that stuff at all.
You
Yeah.
should.
No, you're a little
He should
warped. You're a little warped sometimes though.
He should know.
I can't wait to do our little skit after with that. I love that. What
You don't like my outfit? This is my.
I love it.
my
No, I don't.
tracksuit.
I don't like it. I love it.
Yeah.
But what inspired you to wear a
It's my new
tracksuit?
stage name.
I think James.
Little Mikey
I think
Mortadella.
James has the same one.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's just cool
comfortable.
as fuck. Where did you get it? Like, it looks like it's an expensive piece of
Yeah, it's not,
clothing.
It's nice. I don't know where I got it. I got it online.
I
but
love it.
Thank you. It's
You
comfortable.
You look very handsome.
It's my
for
stage
sure.
name, Little Mikey Mortadella.
Oh
Yeah,
my word.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, gabagool.
Hey, gabagool. I wanted to tell you something funny that you would have gotten a kick out of this weekend. I don't, Rosie. Is your son at the age yet where you're doing any tournaments, road trip, like anything
No.
for? Okay,
He's not good at sports.
Well, was that
No,
just a
he-
bit, or he's not a sports kid?
No. He plays ice hockey.
Oh, so he's a sports kid. Oh, I saw you post. He was in Long
plays
Beach, or whatever.
ice
Yeah,
hockey.
yeah.
But I had said long ago
Yeah,
that because I work retail,
yeah,
I can't do the Hershey Park for the weekend shit.
yeah. I'm doing it every weekend for the past 6 weeks, so I
There's
know what
no
it's
way.
about. Yeah,
First of all, I got no interest
yeah.
in being in these hotels with these other parents and bullshitting,
Yeah.
spending all this money.
Right.
Again, I'm not that parent.
Yeah. Now I know
I
he only
love
comes to our shows. Now it makes sense.
I love my son.
Yeah, but not everyone else's son.
I don't give a shit
Yeah.
about all these other parents and their
Right.
kids
Right.
and their hockey bags.
Yeah, and their drama and all
and
that
their
nonsense.
shit and spending all that money on hotels.
Oh yeah, I'm spending
and-
$600 next week on a
Give
2
it
days.
that.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. You want to
Yeah.
play hockey?
Sleep in the car.
You play in the Long Beach Rec League or the local Long Beach Lightning.
Yeah.
If you're going to be really, really good,
We'll
I
see what
told
happens.
Anthony, you want to handle. He loves hockey.
Yeah.
He still plays. My Anthony, he still plays on Monday nights and on Thursdays. And when I met him, he played in a roller league too.
Yeah.
Okay, he's 53 and still plays ice hockey and loves it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's the Friday night thing that they do together, and they play Saturday afternoons. And now
Yeah.
Mondays, he's got games.
Oh boy.
You know what? That's fine. I
Yeah.
can't do it with my work schedule.
Yeah.
If he ever wants to take him on these road tours,
Yeah.
you know,
That's your thing.
to go to Maryland so that they can play Merrick,
Right.
fuck that shit.
Yeah.
She's got this down pat. This is exactly
it's
what we do.
100% right.
You
I've
want-
done it for the last few weeks
You know what I
and
mean?
for years.
You want to go to Maryland,
Yeah.
Delaware,
Right.
Hershey
Yeah,
Park,
play the Hewlett Barnstormers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
you know, to go play East Northport.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm going to be right here.
Work.
I'll drink a glass of wine after work, and you send me some pictures, FaceTime me,
Yeah.
and
Do you find that you're usually working your day job on the weekends both days? Is it depending on the schedule?
I
or-
work usually Saturdays, or I'll switch if
Okay.
I have to. And somebody can't,
Yeah.
But Saturday is generally the busiest day,
Right.
and when we need the heaviest staff.
Yeah.
In the winter when it's crazy, if I have to work the double, I will.
You do it. Okay. Whatever
but-
to do for the business.
Yeah, like I can't just take off a whole weekend just
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Mark
Yeah.
has a great joke, actually. I don't want to burn your material on
Yes.
here. When but you're basically, when you go on these things, you're rooting for the kids to lose so
Yeah.
you can go home.
Yeah,
you know?
it's true. We
And then you got to
definitely-
get stuck in traffic, and then it's holiday week. Like I want to spend
Oh,
Memorial Day weekend doing that.
I've
No
been
way.
driving for every weekend for the past 2 months. I've been driving I've been in Connecticut, Westchester. I've been in Jersey. I'm going to be in Spooky Nook, Pennsylvania in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
whoa. Not allowed to say
Spooky
that.
Nook is it's like an area in Lancaster, so it's about 4 hours away. It's very long and tedious and expensive, and everything you've said derogatory about it is entirely accurate.
And look-
and if his dad can take care of that, that's a blessing.
Yeah,
that he
and
can
you know
take
what?
care
If he
of.
eventually
Yeah.
wants to do that and go
Yeah.
that route, and
Yeah.
that's a bonding experience for a father, that is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I got you.
And like these dance moms that do it with the tutus,
Yeah.
and they want to go and do that. Oh, I got to do it like
Mikey's
Jenny,
a dance mom.
like Jenny with the
Oh yeah,
dance.
with Charlie with the exactly.
Yeah.
Because Jenny's daughter does the dance, but she also does the acting with Juliana.
Yeah.
And Juliana's in the acting stuff now, so now you got to do all this stuff. Get her the costumes and take her to dress rehearsal, and she has her play.
Mikey, you're a great dance mom.
I am a great dance mom.
Oh my God! And you don't have the right makeup on, and you don't have the right stockings, and you don't have the right glitter on your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But you know what? My son is never going to be that good at ice hockey.
Right, and that's okay because
He's
most
not-
people
like,
are
what
not.
If he has fun, yeah, exactly.
Like he's no Matt Zuccarello.
Yeah.
He's not going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we don't live in Michigan.
Yeah.
Although the Islanders got the first draft pick yesterday,
I saw
and
that.
one of the top prospects is a kid from Hop Hog.
Was it Huggins?
Yeah, Huggins. So he might be. But yes, in general,
It could happen.
Yeah, but odds are he'll keep on playing, having fun, and just like your Anthony, and maybe he'll play for 40 years,
And that's why
wonderful.
I have my son playing guitar because you know what? That's something that he can actually do when he's 23 years old. Like
Absolutely.
these kids are like, oh, I gotta play lacrosse. I gotta play lacrosse. I gotta play lacrosse. What are you gonna do with lacrosse?
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell are you doing with lacrosse? You're gonna
play
graduate
for
from
the New
high
York
school.
Saints?
Yeah, you're gonna play.
Yeah.
Play an AstroTurf inside.
Yeah,
And then go play lacrosse. You're gonna graduate from high school and you do this with lacrosse.
Yeah.
I played
is
lacrosse. You know what happened to my lacrosse stick? It burnt in the basement in the bridal shop.
Oh my
Right.
God, you lost your lacrosse
I lost
stick?
my-
That's a tragedy.
And
you know.
that she's totally just single-handedly taken down the entire sport of lacrosse
Yeah, exactly.
on the show.
And you know what? And,
Yeah.
and you know what? It's wonderful. I played lacrosse. I had friends. We went on the bus.
Right.
But you know what? When as a realist, looking
Yeah.
back,
Right.
It is. I had a great childhood. I played all the sports, but it was all local. I played East Meadow Little
Local.
League. I played
Yeah.
Levittown
you don't
hockey.
have to go further than the outskirts of your
The
town.
camaraderie is what it's all about.
Or you play like, the local little places.
Little places, little Barrett Park and Valley Stream.
Tell
here and
Max
there.
he could stay home next weekend.
Yeah, I'll be traveling the world, but I did have a good little laugh with my little boy this weekend. So he was in a tournament in Queens College. It was one of the close ones. He had 2 games, one at 5, one at 8. So the 5 o'clock game was over. The team won, and Max was a little hyped up after the game. So I let him feel his oats a little bit, and he comes out and he's just kind of bouncing around. And then walking next to us is a guy who at first glance looks like a very large New York City police officer because that's how he wanted his garb to appear. But then as you look closely, it said police, auxiliary, like he was he wasn't an actual police officer. And he gave Max like a look, like a gesture, like chill and like kind of a look. And Max gives no fucks, but he's not disrespectful either. So he calmed down. So we're entering this 3-story parking lot right outside.
Relax, rent a pig.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking, but he's a respectful kid. So we're entering this 3-story parking lot where our car was in, and there were 2 entrances. One that you had to walk down a set of stairs, and another one, the easier one, there was like a rope, a barrier, and so we didn't go down the rope barrier. But of course, Mr. Fucking Columbo, thinking that
Paul
he's
Blart comes
Paul
over.
Blart Walker. Yeah, he goes ahead and he goes to step over it, and he gets hooked on it, and he does a flip around, and he's basically like spinning on this fucking goddamn thing. And of course, we lost it because we thought it was hilarious. And karma's a bitch.
Karma is, yes. That's
So
correct.
Paul Blart got mall copped.
It's pronounced Carla.
Huh? Carla.
That's funny.
Carla. So speaking of Carla, the women comics that you have, because I'm sure I don't really know the dynamic too much. Oh God, that's
Comedians.
Peter Bales used to use that line, comedians. He doesn't use it anymore. He used to years ago. But getting back to what we were talking about, I assume there's a little bit of cattiness sometimes with female comics. Have you felt any of that at all between?
Is there?
You don't have to say any names at all, but is there a little bit of that you felt over time at all? You don't have to.
That face says it all.
All right, there you go.
Who is it?
No, you don't have to. Don't
I'm
say
not
any
saying
names.
anything. Nothing, as my mother-in-law would say. I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Some of the women have been very welcoming.
Yeah. Carla.
Yes.
Carrie.
Yeah. Well, Carrie is amazing.
Carrie's always
She's
the
scary.
biggest pioneer.
She's scary.
Yeah, but she loves helping new comics more than any
she
comic
really
I've
does.
ever met.
She's
From Manny
honest.
to yeah.
She's honest and she is like in your face. I remember the first night that I ever performed on the main stage. I didn't blank out. I just was so nervous, and I was just like, humada.
Yeah.
And I remember my closing joke, I just went right to it, like after 2 minutes, right in the middle.
Wow.
I don't know why.
You were feeling it. You had to go.
I just went right to it, and then I should have just walked off.
Yeah.
No, I just decided to do like
More stuff.
middling jokes.
Yeah.
And like, and I remember Mike Delaquila was just like, I saw his face because he just was like, so he came around or he was in the green room when I got off, and he was like, it's all right, it's going to be all right. And we had to leave here.
You were going to the brokerage.
We were
after,
going
right?
to the
I was here that night.
We were going to the brokerage, and I was so upset. I was like so deflated. I was so nervous because James is sitting at his table with the vagina ashtray.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, he just saw
That's
me.
what you call her? That's what. Who was it?
Carrie? That's what you call Carrie Carruthers?
You know how James has those.
That's what you call Carrie Carruthers.
You know, James has those weirdo lanterns and lights at his table, like that
Never-
weird open vagina lady.
So
thing.
you're intimidated
I
by
was-
James and his lantern.
ashtray.
Yeah.
And I was so, I blew it. And it was like the first time I was up there, and I was just like, oh, I was given this opportunity. Fuck, I'm never going to get up here again. And I came into the
But
green
James
room.
is not like that. He's
no,
very,
and Carrie.
very respectful to other
Carrie
comics.
was sitting at the table with him.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she got from there to here to the doorway faster than I could get through the curtain and into the one stair. And Carrie was like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck did you just do? You need to fucking get your shit together. What the fuck was that? And I was like, and Mike was like, all right.
Yeah. That's Carrie. And
All right,
that,
and-
that means Carrie.
But you know what? I appreciated the fact that
Hell
she
yeah.
didn't like sugarcoat it, but I was in like a coma.
Yeah.
Mike drove me. I left my car here. He drove me to the brokerage to do another set for another fundraiser, and I was like catatonic.
But
was like,
not
you
when
need-
you got on stage, though, you
He
weren't.
was like, you need to snap out of it. What's wrong with you? I was like, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to get back on stage.
Yeah.
There's no way. And then I went to the brokerage, and he was like, you can't let her get in your head. I know she's tough. She's tough on me too.
Yeah.
And I had a much, much better set.
Yeah, you
At
killed
the
it.
brokerage.
Yeah.
But that's Carrie. You know, she
Hell
she
yeah.
means
Carrie
well.
has
like,
a very gruff exterior, but there's
Yeah.
nobody nicer than her, and nobody more
nobody
supportive.
helps
Listen,
new comics more,
and not
period.
even new comics. I'm doing this 13 years. She still helps me every day.
Well,
She's-
your act is like a
I-
new comic,
Well, yeah,
though,
and still,
so
I still need a lot
that's
of work
why.
on my act. So exactly.
But
She
as
still
far
thinks
as,
like
I don't
Keegan's
think-
new, as you're always saying all the time.
as far as other women, everybody's nice.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever been like.
You should be a politician, Rosie.
Nobody's ever
Yeah.
nobody's ever snubbed me or been rude.
Yeah.
But you can sense like
Yeah. You can feel the vibe
you can
sometimes.
feel the
Yeah.
I like you, but you better not ever
Yeah.
fucking take a spot away from me.
There are a lot of snakes in the grass.
You
And-
better not
Okay.
ever like, you know.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
But I'm nice to you.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, that's all
And
you
that's
asked
okay.
for.
And that's
Yeah.
okay. I get
Not
that.
everyone has to be friends.
No.
As long as people are
And
respectful,
honestly,
nice to each other.
and as much as I love the women in the business,
Yeah.
and they're very kind, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I've always liked hanging out with the guys better anyway.
Yeah. Mike too.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Good. I can't. We fired through this hour. We
by.
could probably go another hour with Rosie, but that just means that we'll have to have you back, Rosie
love
girl.
to. Anytime. Thank you for
This was
having
so
me.
much fun. As we do with every single show at the end, we will give you an opportunity now to kind of promote anything you have going on. So, Rosie, you hit the ground first. Tell us what's going on with you coming up. What shows you have coming on?
I am hopefully having a show with Carla.
Yes, the Mother's Day show.
Mother's
right?
Day show this Saturday. I'm waiting to see the flyer and who else is on it. I think
Okay.
Sean Brown is going to be hosting.
Oh, wow. Good.
So that's this Saturday in the Giggle Room. I have a show on the 15th
Okay.
with Danny Calabrese,
Oh,
Eric
nice.
Haft, Rich Walker at a restaurant called Brasserie
Oh,
in
nice.
Massapequa.
Boom.
And then at a very old friend's restaurant called Zuzu in Farmingdale.
So it's
May
funny.
29th.
I ironically got a text right before the show from my buddy John, whose girlfriend owns Angela's Bra Boutique, and he said, "Oh, Rosie's going to be at Zuzu on whatever the date was." And I'm like, "I don't even know what Zuzu is."
It's an awesome restaurant.
Well,
in
so
Farmingdale.
John and Angela, the owner of the Bra Boutique, were just at Zuzu. So he's like, "Oh, Rosie's going to be at Zuzu," and I said, "For what? Like an expo for a dress company?" He goes, "No, he saw a flyer there, I guess, that you're going to be there for a comedy show."
Yeah, and
So-
it's a great room.
Yeah, I heard,
And
yeah.
the food is excellent.
Yeah, they love it there. John and Angela love it there. So cool.
It's the same people that own Croxley's, Water Zoo.
very nice.
Oh God, I'm a
I
Croxley's
love
constantly in
Water Zoo, and I love
Farmingdale.
Water Zoo.
Yeah, I didn't realize
so,
that.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're good people. They
Good.
have solid restaurants. So
Okay.
we're lucky and happy to be there.
And people to follow you. Are you on? I mean, I know you're on Facebook,
Instagram, Comedy Rosie, and come out and see a show.
and it's Rosie Fumara. It's Fiumara, correct?
Correct. Yes,
Okay,
that is it.
so please follow Rosie. Mikey boy, what do you have coming up, pal?
Really, just the only thing I really want to talk about is we just actually booked it today. We're going to be doing every Wednesday night starting June 4th. We're going to be doing an open mic at Cassidy's in Belmore.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
me and Richie Byrne are going to be hosting it.
Nice,
It's going to be
very
every
good.
Wednesday night. It's going to be comedy, music, and every week we're going to have a special guest comedian, a special guest musician.
Good.
And my buddy Danny Price, who's a great guitar player, is going to be like the house guitar player. So it's going to be like a whole kind of
Good shit.
vibe every Wednesday night starting June 4th.
I love it. And Tony, what do you have going on with the Knock 'em Dead comedy traveling sideshow?
Our next public show is June 6th at the Knights of Columbus in Hicksville. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com and real quick, govs.com. Jim Florentine, Mark Riccadonna, Joe Matarese. Just some of the comedians you'll see on the governor's stage this weekend
When Matarese is this weekend?
at McGuire's.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
He's phenomenal, Joe Matarese.
All three of those guys
Yeah,
are
Riccadonna
And
fantastic.
obviously the other
one of
guys
the-
are great too. I didn't know Riccadonna was in. I love Mark.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm actually off on Saturday night. I'm going to come see Mark Riccadonna.
Yeah, I'll be
so-
here too
Nice.
for that.
Sure.
So for all of your comedy needs, obviously, govs.com. You have the Governor's Main Room, the Governor's Giggle Room, the Governor's Patio. Are they still doing patio shows?
No.
No. So forget about the patio, but you can go to the Brokerage in Belmore and McGuire's in Bohemia. You have comedy all across Long Island. I know there's a big show that Govs has coming up in, I think it's is it the Suffolk Theater or the Patchogue Theater with the one funny lady, Lisa Marie? That's a show that they've been advertising as well.
I want to say Suffolk
Yeah.
Theater. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's right, though.
So you can go to govs.com for all that stuff. And listen, as always, we thank you for liking and sharing. And Instagram's been popping this week. We have multiple videos with 5,000 and 6,000 views and more. So please continue to follow us, share Instagram, TikTok, Herschy and the Keegs on Facebook, Govs Comedy Podcast on YouTube. We appreciate, we love you, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you.
All right.